just think you can flap your yap. No cap, yo, we looking at the facts and stats. Second city gritty to across the map. Put your cleats on your feet while we run some laps. Buckle up your seat while we have some chats. Who the GOAT on the court, pictures and running backs. Plug in your jacks, then you're whipping your phone. Shalom, let's get it on, this is setting the tone.
Welcome everyone to the Setting the Tone podcast. It's your guy Tone, and today I'm going to talk about why the Bears, the Chicago Bears, are the most surprising team after week 16. All right, check this out. Back in August, most people looked at the Chicago Bears and said, cute wild card pick. If Caleb takes the steps, maybe they sneak in. Year 2 of the rebuild. Now, fast forward, they're chasing the one seed. And that's why today I'm saying this is clearly the Bears are the most surprising team in the NFL after week 16. Not Seattle, not Jacksonville, and not Denver. No disrespect to any of those clubs, but I feel like the Chicago Bears are the most surprising team after week 16. Today I'm breaking down why the Chicago Bears clear all 3 of these teams using expectations, results, and the thing that matters most in the league, narrative. And let me paint this debate question early. If a team everyone called a sleeper actually hits, is that more or less surprising than a team no one trusted at all? Because real surprise isn't just a good team being good. A true surprise is a gap between what people expected and what actually happened. A big gap between preseason expectations and current record. An unexpected strength in a previously weak area. Sustained performance, not a 2-week hot streak. And a real shift in how fans and media talk about the franchise. And I have felt and seen that shift for the Bears. Media usually tracks these through over and under in totals, power rankings from August to December, and how often a team was picked to make the playoffs before week 1. And here's the key to Chicago. Even with some hype, they still overshot what people thought was realistic. Let's rewind a bit. Preseason Bears narrative. Vegas had them around 7 to 9 wins. The conversation was, if Caleb Williams takes a step, maybe, just maybe, they fight for a wild card. This was framed as year 2 of a rebuild, not an instant contender. Fast forward to now. Actual reality. They hit double-digit wins before week 17. They're leading their division, not fighting for a 6 or 7 seed. They're in the 1 seed and bye conversation. That's not normal progression. That's skipping steps. Here's where the real surprise lives. 1. The offense. This was supposed to be the question mark. Instead, it became the identity. The offensive line looks sewn up. The running game looks strong. Caleb's making his progressions, his reads. Modern concepts, confidence, and aggression. 2, the quarterback, Caleb Williams, went from can he be the guy to this is what a top tier QB trajectory looks like. What doesn't usually happen this fast, especially here. That doesn't usually happen this fast, especially here. 3, the clutch factor. Late game wins, comeback, closing moments. We've seen plenty of those from the Chicago Bears this year. They have 6 fourth quarter comebacks, all under the last 2 minutes. These are exact games old Bears teams always lost. 4, the narrative shift. Before, this was a dysfunctional franchise wasting defensive talent, coaching cycles, and quarterbacks cycling in and out. Now, modern offense, clear franchise QB, core young players, and suddenly an attractive destination, I might add. Looking forward to free agency, seeing what we can add next year. Here's my take. The surprise isn't the Bears improved. The surprise is how fast they skipped steps. Me and my guys, my comrades on the podcast, we always say, we're a year ahead. This is all gravy. They went from please be competent to you might have to go through Chicago to get to the Super Bowl. Almost nobody said that. Nobody had that in their prediction. Let's talk about teams that I mentioned earlier, why the Bears are more surprising than them. Let's talk about Seattle. The Seattle Seahawks absolutely have a case. They're in the top seed mix. They're getting strong quarterback play from someone many gave up on. Here's why they rank behind the Bears, though. Seattle wasn't coming from the basement. They already had an organizational stability. Coaching, culture, front office, all trusted. Seattle's surprise is about how high they climbed. Chicago's surprise is about escaping dysfunction. Huge difference. Put simply, Seattle is a surprise the way a B-plus student randomly drops an A. Chicago is a kid who's failing and suddenly posting 4.0 with extra credit on top of that. Icing on the cake. Now let's talk about Jacksonville. The Jacksonville Jaguars are legit. They're deep in the AFC playoff mix. Trevor Lawrence is finally sustaining high-level play. But here's the difference. This is an extension of an arc we've already seen. They've tasted January football recently, and Lawrence was a former number one pick as well. Already labeled, could be elite. He's on his second contract. The leap is from good but inconsistent to good and consistent. Chicago leap is from broken to, they a problem. Jacksonville feels like a stock finally hitting its target price. Let's hit the Denver Broncos real quick. The Denver Broncos went from chaos to contender. Defense turned around. Coaching stabilized things around the team. Good coaching over there. But this rebound was always plausible. They invested heavily. They've always had a defensive foundation. A bounce back year was a popular talking point for this team. This is a course of correction. Chicago, that's an identity transplant that actually worked. All right, so let's put this all to bed. Category 1, gap versus preseason projections. Bears went from wild card bubble to 1 seed range. Bears will get the edge. Category 2, offensive identity and QB shift. Bears went from worst in the league vibes to modern powerhouse. Edge Bears. Category 3, franchise narrative change. Chicago went from eternal rebuild to they finally got QB and coach right. Man, that feels so good. Edge Bears by distance. Category 4, shock value to neutral fans. If you showed someone the standings in August and again now, which logo makes them double take hardest? The answer is the Chicago Bears. This isn't just a good season. This is a franchise moment. The Bears just surprised people. The Bears just didn't surprise people. They forced everyone to update their expectations in real time. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't have expectations coming into this season. And now they're turning my head, making me double check that and think that twice. And I do have some expectations now. And in this league, that's the hardest thing to do. That's why after week 16, the most surprising team in the NFL is the Chicago Bears. And this is setting the tone. Bear down.